What's up, Capstone family? This is Ed Drummond coming at you on this Friday, the 19th of November, 2021. It is amazing that next week is already going to be Thanksgiving. I don't know where November went, but I don't know if you're feeling the same way, but it just seems like time is just jamming right now. Last weekend was our super successful Capstone Contributes event. If you're here in Phoenix, you probably saw, you know, rumblings of it on the news. It was super cool. We had a PR company help us with that this year, and just spreading the word and making sure that people knew what was happening. Our ultimate goal with this, of course, is to raise money for the kids. Then it's kind of gravitated to more like, hey, let's bring all our friends out and let's make this something that everyone can feel for the day and feel like they're giving back and contribute. Now it's like really help take it to the next level and ensuring that other companies know how to make these days a success. With your help, we were able to raise over $27,000 for help, and we filled all 20,000 bags that we had to for the day, which is super cool. But more than that, like, I got a lot of feedback from people that showed up. Those that brought their kids, they really find a lot of value in it, and I think that's what it's all about, right? The money part is one piece, but the community is even more important to me, honestly. So super happy that went off really well. Thanks to everybody who made that possible. I wanted to talk a little bit on the rental side. We're starting to see some challenges on the rental side of renting properties. We actually have a lot of inventory right now, and I don't want to say we keep forgetting that last year was more of an anomaly than anything, but it really was. Like, last year, we were jamming up until the end of the year. Last November was probably one of our biggest months on the sales side that we've almost ever had. It was such a monster month that, we did so many transactions last November that we constantly keep forgetting that this is the seasonality that we should be expecting. And, we can't pretend that last year was anything other than a total fluke. The rental side of it, things are slowing down, right? If you look at the numbers, if you see the trends, if you're looking at those graphs that I put up on slowdownphoenix.com, you'll see that, this over the last few months, we've actually started seeing a little bit of a downtick in the pricing, the average price per square foot for rentals. And that's new, right? It's just been on this crazy trajectory for the last couple of years, but now we're starting to see it. It looks like it's stabilizing a little bit. I've got a place on the market right now, and the team was like, Ed, we got to push for this number, and it was like, cool. We tried that. Today's the 19th, right? And a few days ago we dropped that price because we were getting showings. We just weren't getting the type of showings that we expected to, that we would have gotten even a month ago. So, it's time to adjust some pricing. It's time to recalibrate some expectations and to make sure that, we're getting people in there quickly. Like, I don't want this thing sitting on the market. I don't want our property sitting on the market. So many reasons why not, right? First, you're not getting any money. You're not making any money when it's not full. At the end of the day, though, I often joke and I say, hey, what keeps us awake? What keeps me awake at night? Where's my anxiety? And my anxiety is in rentals that are vacant or just properties that are vacant. When stuff is vacant, we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know who's squatting or what, issue is happening at the property if there's no one there to report it, right? So, getting these properties rented as fast as possible. We all do it for similar yet maybe just a little different reasons. That's definitely something to be thinking about, though, as we go into next year. On the rental side is how that market is maybe not shifting, but just stabilizing. I do not believe that this market has any indication of going down. There's too much pressure on continuing to push this market in a positive direction, and there are still such huge entities that are still seeing that. And we're talking about all the jobs that are being built out here, all the places that people are going to need to live. The West Valley is absolutely just crushing it right now, as it was depressed for so long that now you're starting to see, real values. I've got one going on the market today that, we helped this buyer purchase just a few years ago for, $199,000, and he's gonna, we're putting this thing on the market. We're gonna sell it for $380,000. It's like that's an amazing return for somebody like that, So definitely helpful. I do think if the numbers make sense in this market, though, there's still opportunities to buy. The shift, one thing, I think when we're investors, we have to have a very, very, very clear vision for what success looks like for us in the investment space. We have to have a goal that we may not be able to, see right away, but a goal that we can stick with. Oftentimes in markets like this, we're seeing people almost with the wind, they're wavering on what they should do. And I think that those are the people who struggle the most to have success in real estate investing, because they're constantly wavering, going back and forth. What should they do? What should they do? What should they do? And instead of just sticking with one path and just seeing it through to the end, right? I think when we waver like that, we're selling ourselves short, and everybody else's goals then become ours, and we're like, well, let me try that. Oh, let me try that. And I think that's the biggest struggle that I see right now in this market. I have a lot of conversations with people who are like, what should I do? And it's like, okay, so how's it fit into your plan, your model, right? What are you doing? We have to ask ourselves that, and we have to say it with conviction, right? I know what my plan is, and I know what the market's doing. And with that plan, if we're starting to waver from it, if we're starting to think about, oh, look at what our neighbor over here is doing, it's like, who cares what that neighbor over there is doing, right? Like, that neighbor over there might be doing it for completely different reasons than he's even telling you, right? His fear may be different than what your fear aligns with, right? And I think in this market, we really have to stay true to those convictions and knowing what is our goal. What do we really want? Should I sell? Should I offload all these properties? Do I have a place to put that money that could be better than what I'm making now? And does that fit and align with what I want from these properties? Or, as we're seeing, there's going to create more of a separation for people that own real estate to those that don't, right? This market is just going to shift that wealth and really just continue to spread it, because those that carry real estate right now are seeing such huge gains in net worth. And it's like, they're seeing such huge gains if they sell, right? A mentor of mine once told me that the only time that you lose in real estate is when you sell. So, I kind of look at that and say, okay, so when are you planning on selling? Are you planning on selling? Does that even match? And getting back to our conversation last week, if you're not planning on selling, how is your properties titled, and how are you really taking advantage of tax benefits and the long term to ensure that your legacy will continue or not, depending on what you want to do with it, right? I don't want to leave a bunch of assets to my family when I pass on, because I don't want to put anybody in the position of having to manage real estate. I know what that looks like. For those of you watching this that have investment properties, you know that pain, you know that struggle, you know that that's uniquely yours, and that at the end of the day, you give that over to somebody else, and their intention, they might not want anything to do with that, right? So I think these are all good things to be thinking about right now in this market, especially as it starts to shift a little bit. Again, staying true to our convictions, staying true to what we want from this. Me personally, I can see a 10-year cycle. Can you? Right? If the market shifts and I've got to wait for another 10 years for it to come back to where it is right now, does that make sense in my model? For me, it does. But again, is that what works for you? Does that work with where you're aligned? I hope that when you're talking to people from Capstone, you're getting a perspective that may or may not be yours, but at least it's coming with some experience of people here that are saying, hey, this is what I would suggest. This is what I would do. I hope that's the service that we're able to offer for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to. These should then email to you through YouTube instead of having to wait for this email, which probably comes through as spam. But I totally appreciate you watching and look forward to connecting again. See ya.